blamed by Kamal, gonna tell a story of a historical character we have in our report called Juha. These stories connected to a donkey he has, filled up with black comedy, and these stories tell the stories of Palestinians through the 65 years of the occupation in direct way, so people who had no idea about the Palestinian situation could have an idea about how it is. Any community living a collective punishment, they feel always together. So I understand him because we live together. I understand his story. And deciding together to put these feelings into stage or films or photography or fine art or drawing as first to help ourselves, to take ourselves out of the circle of violence we have been living through since day one in our life till the last 10 years. All of these emotions translated into artistic work, we found out it's very worth the art we're getting out is first is important for us, is important for the community, and this idea to put us together has been done by a man called Giuliano Merchamis. He's half Israeli, half Palestinian, understand the conflict from the both ways, and he's the one, the founder of what we call the cultural intifada, or the cultural resistance that we are taking now as our own strategy or ideology, if you want to say. Yes, the first time I was introduced to art as a direct way, I was only 20 years old. My father was in a prison for 10 years old. I lived with a poor family, 6 people in the same room, in a refugee camp. Now, once we had so many, we as men in Palestine or Middle East or an Arab country, we have a problem of saying our feeling. So if you're sad, you don't say you're sad. If you're afraid, you don't say you're afraid because you're supposed to be a man. You're not supposed to cry, you're not supposed to fray, you're not supposed to run away, all of this. In a theater, once we go to the stage, once you let yourself out, you see all of these things has been hidden inside of you for all of these times getting out. So then you're free, you're open, you're a human being, you're not locked, you're not full of anxiety and stress and hate and fear. All of this get out of you. You became a social person, you became a careful person, you became more able to talk to people, to communicate, to be socializing with other people, the outsiders, the insiders, everything. So in my own experience, I think art saved my life, because without art I would be either conservative, religious, or I would be one of the people who would use the violence of resisting the Israeli, which is we think it's right. If you are under oppression, you have right to use the gun to fight your oppressor. But we found out that you might use a better way, more strong way for fighting the oppressor, and it's totally non-violence. And that's what connects us to India, because we used, or we learned from the Indian experience with the British occupation, with Gandhi, that non-violence is directly could achieve goals of freedom and liberation for the people. She said, I was studying fine arts in Nablus city. I was leaving to Ramallah city. In the checkpoint, they stopped me. They took me in a jeep to the military station. There I was for 2 months under torture and integration. The torture they're using today is mental torture, more than physical, but she said it's much worse than physical torture. They were keeping me awake for a long time. They were trying to threat me all of the time. They used all of that mental torturing tools for 2 months on her. After the interrogation, they sent her to the prison, but because at that time they did not have a political prison for women, because in Israel they have political prisons and they have criminal prisons. But for women, they only have one prison. So they put her in a criminal prison with the Israeli criminals, and she had terrible 4 years.
Is there a social life in Palestine?
For women or for men?
Everyone. Everyone.
For men there is. For women there is. You want to ask her or ask me? For men, they go play cards, or if they are not very religious, they go train. For women, it's different. I mean, what do you do? Social life. كيف الحياة الاجتماعية؟ كان الإنسان شو بيعملوا؟
بيشتغلوا في بالعكس في ستات معلمات وفي
Some women are workers. They work in schools and stuff.
مراكز يعني مراكز منيحة بالعكس الناس ستات كثير مراكز
We have good number of women
نسبة
educated.
التعليم عندنا في فلسطين بالنسبة للمرأة عالية كثير.
The rate of the education for women in Palestine is high. Nobody sleep hungry. This is a good thing. Because under oppression, everybody feed together. So I know Kadora said, listen man, I have, he said, perfect, no problem, just get in, eat whatever you want. So community are together. Nobody sleeps hungry. This is a good thing. Although poor, but we grow land, we have weeds, we have one who give us a little bit for us and some rice and some stuff. We make something out of it. But it's not like we, yeah, on the edge. On the edge.